What's up? First video in a while. And today we're here to talk about solo leveling. None of that, I'll be uploading, so I don't know. I may not upload in another month, but I'm uploading now, and that's all that matters, okay? So today I'm going to be talking about solo leveling. If you haven't heard about this is a Korean, I think, web novel? No, webtoon. It's a webtoon, web novel. They're all the same thing. But, yeah. So, solo leveling, if you have not heard of it, it's essentially an isekai, not really, kind of isekai-ish. I don't know how to describe it really, because I can't say isekai. It's a power fantasy. It's not an isekai to say, but it's a power fantasy isekai realmish feeling. It feels like an isekai, but it's not because it all takes place in the same world. So essentially the synopsis is this world full of hunters, like these people with like powers and things, or like hunters, like people that are like stronger, and then there's like these gates that has been opening all over the world, like they've been opening, they have like monsters inside them and things, and then these hunters, they go out and fight the monsters, collect the loot, and sell the loot, and then it's like a job. It's like another profession, but it's considered a very dangerous job. So like it can pay well, it can pay not so well. It just depends on how you do in a dungeon. They're basically dungeons. They call them gates, but they're dungeons. Like I'm just gonna call them dungeons because that's what they are. And so our main hero is called the world's weakest hunter. Wow, who would have thought? You can already see where this is going. But so essentially, he goes into a gate. And then like this gate, like it's a typical, because all gates have rankings, so it's like a typical like low level gate, what he's used to, and like then everything goes red, and then like this like holy like statue creature. I know you've seen it before. Fucking wrecks everyone there. It doesn't leave no stone unturned. Like it destroys everyone in the group he went with. Like they get fucked. But yeah, and then like this thing pops up in front of his face saying, "Do you want to live," or something like that? I don't know, it'll be on the screen now. But like, "Do you want to like continue living," or something of that sort. And then he says, "Yeah, I mean, but of course, I don't want to die." And then he wakes up in a hospital. And then he gets this menu saying, "Do these quests or be punished." And the quest is like 100 push-ups, 100 squats, a run, essentially the Saitama workout. It's very similar to that green, like very, like just stupid basic workouts. But yeah, it's essentially just the Saitama workout. So he does that, and like he starts leveling up, like getting experience, like in a video game. This is where the isekai part comes in, because it's like, yeah, it's not really a game since he's technically still in his world, but there's a leveling up system, and there's like a menu and stuff, which is like an isekai game thing, so yeah. So after he does all these quests, he gets fucking jacked. He becomes a fucking like Channing Tatum. Like before, he was looking all scrawny, like that guy from Superbad, or Scott Pilgrim vs. the World. He looked like that. And now he looks fucking ripped. This guy, he's like shredded. He literally looks like just the most beefcake man ever. So yeah, and now he's overpowered. Like now he can destroy basically any monster in one hit. And this is where the power fantasy isekai comes in. Is very weak guy becomes overpowered. But I think this series does it actually quite well, to where like it isn't suffocating. Like a lot of like isekais and these power fantasy things, they don't do this very well. They don't handle this whole situation of like very weak to very overpowered very quickly thing. Like Sword Art Online, stupid fucking like these isekais, like this like does it well in a world where like it feels good for some reason. Like I don't know how to fully explain it, but it still feels like it's just entertaining, because like here's like a typical setup. Like it's like, okay, big monster, people around him. He surpasses everyone's expectation, and everyone's kind of just standing there like, "Oh my gosh, how was he able to do that? He's an E rank hunter. He's the weakest hunter." And he fucking wrecks all of them. And I think it's the people's reaction to that is what makes this so much interesting and stands out from the rest of the power fantasy isekais, is because no one's because like he went from like very weak and he like progresses, like people think, okay, he's like weak but he's like strong, like he's like a super strong hunter now, like okay. And then it goes from like, okay, he's strong to like a really like top, like some of the best hunters in the world, to like, okay, he's basically God. Okay, we just gotta like accept him, bow down. Fucking. So like, yeah, it's the people's reaction of like, holy shit, this guy's fucking insane. Which I feel like now that we've kind of reached everyone's like peak and everyone already knows like he's kind of powerful, is I feel like the story is kind of like dipped down in quality, in my opinion. There's still interesting things, but now the story is less about that and less about the power fantasyness and more about the like world, because like now it's just explaining things, expanding on the world, which I think's really good. And I thought the world was very interesting. All the characters are all kind of bland, actually. I was gonna say good, but they're really not. They're all sort of bland, except Sung Jin Woo, the main character, because he's just a fucking badass. That's his character, is to be a badass. Like, he has no other character, like, trait except badass. Like, under, like, his personality, under, like, a card or something, we'll just say badass. Like, fucking manly man. But, yeah. And I think that's why this story's so good, is because, like, it does everything well of, like, very weak guy goes to overpowered. And it does that very, like, quickly. But I don't know why this series works. It shouldn't work. It just does, though. Like, it's very weird. Like I don't know why this works and something like Sword Art Online doesn't. It just does. Like, it kind of just feels good to, like, just be like, yeah, fuck up that monster. It's kind of like One Punch Man, except not, because One Punch Man, it's way different, but, like, you kind of want to see him succeed. Like, you don't want to see him lose. Like, you want to see him lose a bit and then fucking destroy them. Like, I don't know why, but it's very interesting seeing him, like, bum rush, basically every single fucking giant monster that every other human's scared of, except him, and he's, like, the only badass person on this earth, it feels like, and he's the only person who can handle any of these, and then it just keeps progressing in that, and, like, escalating and escalating, and I think that's where the main problem for the series Rise is, the escalation issue, because at first it was, like, nice, cool, refreshing, and now it's just off the fucking charts. Like, if you're reading it currently, you know what I'm talking about. It's fucking crazy right now. Like, I barely even fucking know what's going on. They're introducing so many things right now, it's kind of hard to keep up. But I think it's still keeping me captivated enough to keep reading. I haven't dropped it yet. I haven't been reading them weekly. I've been letting them build up and then reading them all in one go. And I think that's the best way to do this, because reading this series weekly, I think I've tried it. It is not good. Like, then I'm just over here like, well, shit. Like, that makes me like the series less compared to when I read it in one big go. I also think the series has a very, like, interesting, like gaming, like, how, like, it does the gaming menu, like, because he can only level up. Like, that's why it's called solo leveling, because he's the only person who can level up through, like, and become stronger through leveling up, meaning he doesn't have, like, a strongness cap. Like, there is no, like, cap to him, like most hunters have, like, this cap that, like, won't let them get any stronger than that, except, like, he doesn't have that. He can just keep going up. So, yeah, I think this series, like, is very interesting and keeps me engaged long enough to, like, make it good, if that makes sense. Like, I don't know, I keep explaining my thoughts on solo leveling, but, like, I can't really explain it, because it's, like, you don't understand until you read it, because, like, there's something about just seeing him destroy every single monster that comes his way with such ease, and then everyone being like, oh my gosh, that's incredible. It's just so satisfying, finally seeing that point of him just completely wrecking the monster. And, you know, it should get repetitive at some point, but it doesn't. It stays refreshing. It stays hyped. Like, this series just gets you hyped. It just feels you up. You're like, yeah, I gotta fucking do some push-ups after this. I don't know. Like, it just gets you in that, like, moment. Like, it just gets you hyped. It just fucking, like, brings you up. Yeah, but that's about it. I just wanted to talk about solo leveling. Hopefully I'll start uploading more. I know I said at the beginning of this video. I don't know, but, yeah, if I don't, I'll see you in like a month, because that seems to be my upload schedule now. Hit that subscribe button if you enjoyed. So, yeah, bye. So, like, I just finished that video you just saw about solo leveling, and then, like, a week later, the creator had to go up and end on me. And I can't upload a video about it when the ending just came out and not talk about the ending. That would be absolutely fucking ridiculous. So, like, I had to, like, re-pull out the camera, redo all my settings. I had to do all that just for this ending, which I just read it. I had to catch back up because I was, like, 10 chapters behind. So I had to redo all that, and now I'm here. So, let's talk about the ending. First off, I want to say I liked it. Well, it was fine. It was a fine ending for a good series. Like, it was a fine ending for a fine series. Like I thought the ending, like did well. It did the series justice. It wrapped everything up nicely, and it was just a nice little, like it wasn't the most pretty wrapping, but it was a nice, like, it got by. It did its job, okay? Which, that's all that really matters when it comes to a series ending. As long as it just does it and doesn't make the series worse, then I think the ending does fine. Like, if I would much rather have a fine ending than a bad ending. I think everyone would. But that's the point I'm trying to make, is, like, the ending was fine. It wasn't, like, horrible or anything. It didn't make the series worse, which is always a good thing for an ending. Because there have been some endings where it's just ruined the whole series. Well, for me, endings don't ruin the whole series. It just makes me oh, like, yeah, like, this thing's great, but now it's like, oh, that's what happens at the end. That's always fun when that happens, isn't it? But I'm glad they ended sooner rather than later, because I think I said this in the main video, is the quality of the writing kind of, like, slowly went down after a while. Like, it kept going and going and going, and it slowly got worse and worse and worse, in my opinion. So I'm kind of glad they ended it here, and, like, not like 100 chapters down the line where it just keeps getting escalated and escalated just to run it on. I know this is based on a novel. I don't know if it's I don't know if, like, the ending's the same as the novel. I would like to say it is, because when I looked that up, it did say that, I think. I mean, I didn't, like, really, like, in-depth research it, but, like, I think it was, the same ending, which, either way, the series was really good. It was all enjoyable and stuff. I'm not going to spoil the ending. I'm just going to say the ending was fine. Like, you won't be disappointed with the ending. It won't leave you, like, there are some, like, things, but I think it doesn't leave many questions. It wraps everything up. It's a satisfying conclusion to this story, and all in all, I think it's really good, and I'm glad they ended it now rather than, like, 100 chapters down the line. Yeah, but that's all I wanted to say. That's it for this video. So yeah, I have a Twitter now. Link in the description if you want to follow. Like and subscribe. Later.